My name is Joanna Miles. I'm 26 years old, and if there's one thing I've learned about my family, it's this: image comes first, truth comes last, and somehow I'm always the one who pays for that order. I grew up being the girl people corrected. Try harder, be better. Why can't you be more like your sister? My sister was the pride. I was the project. She brought achievements. I brought discomfort. And in my family, discomfort was something you fixed, not something you listened to. That Sunday night, I drove to my parents' house after a 12-hour workday. Same street, same trimmed lawns, same perfect houses, pretending nothing ugly ever happens inside. My mother was arranging plates like she was staging a showroom. She didn't ask how I was. She asked why I was cutting it close. My dad barely looked up. That's normal for us. Then my sister walked in, smiling, and behind her was Evan Carter, her new boyfriend. And suddenly, the room lit up. My parents straightened. Their voices softened. Their eyes shined. I knew immediately he was the kind of man they wanted in the family. Dinner started, and like always, the spotlight drifted toward the most impressive person at the table. Evan talked about his projects, his connections, his meetings with executives. He sounded polished, confident, important. My mom laughed at everything he said. My dad nodded like he understood it all. My sister looked at him like he was already her future. And me? I stayed quiet. I always do. Then he looked at me, smiled, and said, "So, are you still free during the day, or have you finally found a job?" Everyone laughed. My mom gave that little sigh. My dad swirled his glass. My sister looked down. And for a moment, I almost swallowed it, like I always had. But something inside me didn't burn. It didn't break. It just went still, cold, aware. Because while he kept talking about ambition, about stability, about work ethic, he mentioned something, a responsibility, a department function that didn't exist where he claimed to work. It was small, but it didn't fit, and I noticed. I didn't argue, I didn't defend myself, I just memorized it. That night, I couldn't sleep. I opened my laptop, checked public records, company structures, leadership charts. Everything looked clean. But the detail he described, nowhere. So I asked an old colleague a general question. No names, just structure. The answer came back fast. That role doesn't handle that. And that's when it clicked. I kept digging. There was a shell company under his name. Virtual office, no website, no staff, but irregular deposits from personal accounts, and two of those names previously filed small investment disputes. He wasn't an executive. He was collecting money quietly, selling confidence, selling performance. And the worst part? My family would never believe me without proof, because he was loud and I was quiet. A few weeks later, the wedding invitation arrived. Gold letters, celebrating new beginnings. I RSVP'd yes, not out of revenge, out of clarity. On the wedding day, everything looked perfect. White flowers, soft music, smiling guests. My sister looked radiant. Evan looked untouchable, like a lie dressed in confidence. I waited until the reception, until the applause faded. Then I walked up to them, calm, steady, no scene. I opened the folder and handed it to him. My sister leaned in. Her face changed slowly. Confusion, then fear. Evan's confidence cracked. His voice stumbled. Excuses collapsed before they formed. I said one sentence: "You deserve to know who you married." Silence, controlled breath. My parents rushed over. They blamed me. Of course they did. I ruined the image. I disrupted the performance. But I didn't argue. I didn't stay. I walked out. And sitting in my car, for the first time in years, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel ashamed. I felt clear. Sometimes the family you're born into isn't the one that protects you. And sometimes walking away isn't drama. It's self-respect. So tell me, what's harder, speaking the truth or finally walking away from people who never wanted to hear it?